Yes. Welcome to Come Well to another episode, another doorway, another portal, another show entitled Am I as I am, but most importantly, as you are. For those who would like to further support and or continue to support this specific path, my new Cash App is $AMIS, pardon me, $Amias as one. So it's $AMIAS and the number one. Every dollar amount given in appreciation is appreciated in return. All support goes towards building libraries, both in home and out home, towards maintaining living circumstances, goes towards supplies, services, and products created and utilized for sessions, consultations, and classes. It goes towards future spiritual projects and current manifestation. It also goes towards book printing and distribution, both personal and class related. It also goes towards website development and website sustainment. The website will be up very soon. And last but not least, towards helping to continue my private and public events held for specific seekers on this specific path. Thank you for your support. It is greatly appreciated. For those who continue to put money on the Cash App as well, that's very much appreciated as well. And I see you guys commenting and engaging more and more. That's appreciated as well. And for those who have signed up for classes for the fall semester coming up, it's going to be a real powerful one. So I'm glad y'all guys signed up. And I'm appreciate the support always, as always, in always. So let's get to today's topic and title for today's video, for today's show. It's going to be a short one, not too crazy. Uh, where does the personality reside within the living human being? Where does this thing called the personality exist inside of the body? Because it exists in a specific location, literally. Okay, let's just dive right into it. First doorway is each personality is a collection of molecules or molecular groups, which are collected groups of two or more atoms in each group. This is what a personality is. A personality is a collection of molecules or molecular groups. That's what each personality contains. When you look at it from an atomic level or a dealing with physics. So from an angle of physics, what we call each personality that we create, each one is a collection of molecules or molecular groups. This is where a personality resides within you. Okay? It is a collection of elemental groups. Now, this is for people when they say, I'm killing my ego, or you killing your ego. You need to kill your ego. I'm going to kill my ego. When you say you're killing your ego, you're not killing anything. You're just reorganizing molecular groups by rearranging elemental bodies. Now, I'm talking science biology language at the moment. I'm talking kind of quantum physical language, dealing with quantum physics and the quantum field, the quantum understanding. What this pertains to. So, I'm giving you the exact location and the exact contents of what a personality is composed of and where it is exactly within the body, or where it is exactly within your biology or uh, atomic physics. And once you understand what a molecule is, because you have The atom goes, the very last thing it forms into before it becomes something dense is a molecule. Um, Matter of fact, it's a compound. Pardon me. A molecule is in the middle. You have atom, molecule, compound. So your personality exists within the atomic nucleus, between the atomic nucleus, and between the compound, when something actually becomes solid as the compound. This is invisible. The atom is invisible. The compound is the visible. The molecule exists in the middle. The molecular groups become the compound. So your personality you create is an actual physical body. Literally, it becomes a compound intelligence. And when I'm talking about elemental bodies, because even elements, what we call fire, air, earth, and water, these things exist in a specific exact location within your biology. Literally. For those who want to get more deeper into that, to understand where these things exist at, book a consultation and we can go a lot deeper into it. Many of y'all have been booking consultations and you see exactly how deep it actually gets, but also how clear and simple it becomes once you understand how these moving parts move and what's moving them. And it's very important to understand these locations and these sections of the body and the mind and so on and so forth, because visualization activates movement manipulation. So you begin to move things or you manipulate movement or what is known as kinetic energy when you begin to visualize exactly where these things are at within the body. It's like making a direct call to them and telling them to move. That's what visualization is. You're connecting, you're communicating and connecting. You're creating a relationship with these locations within your body, within your biology, within your anatomy, within your energy field, within the atomic nucleus, the elemental bodies, molecular groups. You know now the divine order. So when you know the divine order and you begin to visualize talking to the first person in that order, in that line, you can begin to talk to the second person. And so the second person to talk to the third person. So the third person to talk to the fourth person. It's like the game of operator. You say you whisper something in somebody's ear, they whisper somebody in somebody's ear, they whisper the same thing in somebody else's ear, whisper the same thing in somebody else's ear, and it goes around the whole circle because you have created a line of communication. You know the order. So it's also about knowing the divine order of where things are actually at within the atomic understanding and the atomic knowledge. Because you want to create a direct relationship and a clear communication and a tight connection with these things to begin visualizing and manipulating the movement of these things for whatever your purpose, your reason, your desire. This is a part of spiritual growth. Spirituality is science, and science is spirituality. Like I always say, the word science is the word seance, like a ritual, like a ceremony. What is your science? What is your seance? What is your ritual? This is very important when you begin to manipulate things in your environment. You manipulate the invisible. You're creating a direct relationship and connection and clear communication with the invisible reality to begin moving the visible things that it appears as or it expresses itself as. So even anybody dealing with wealth, riches, or just want to get a car or a home or certain things like that, these certain personalities get in the way. And you have to know how to rearrange and reorganize these molecular groups and these molecular bodies and elemental bodies to begin to create the new you that actually receives what it is that you are desiring. No matter what it be, you want something out your way, you want something to clear up, you want to bring something to you, you want to draw something to you, you want to move something away from you. Personalities hold people, places, and events. And it gets a little more clearer. So to create a new personality is to transform the old chromosome or the old chromosomic body, the old time, into the new chromosome or the new chromosomic body. Anything about the chromosome holds three main things: DNA, protein, and your genes or your genetics. Chromosome is where time exists, what you call time. Time isn't something out there, it's not some general thing. Time actually exists inside of your body. That's why my 12 p.m. to 12:30 may be 5 or 10 minutes to me. But your 12 p.m. to your 12:30 p.m. may be 30 minutes. But my 12 to 12:30 is only 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Literally, not metaphorically, literally. Somebody's hour may feel like a day. So time is not a general broad thing. It's something that exists specifically, uniquely within each individual according to their mood, their mind state, so on and so forth. But it exists within the chromosome. So creating a new personality is to transform the old chromosome or the old time body or the old chromosomic body, the old personality, into the new chromosome, the new personality body. Because every personality is created within time. See, so I'm making the connections dealing with what is a personality. I'm dealing with molecular bodies, elemental bodies, the chromosome, genetics, DNA, protein. And if you know anything about protein or the proteins, how it expresses itself in the body, a protein is a chain. And enzymes is what cuts the chain to create certain structures and certain buildings and structures within the DNA. So a protein is a chain, and the enzyme cuts the chain to create that building. And if this protein creates another chain, the enzyme will cut that chain, and that'll be one building or one structure. So you have these buildings and these structures within your DNA and your genetics that some are longer, some are shorter, some are longer, some are shorter, some are mid, some are longer, some are shorter, some are mid. And these get cut according to enzymes. Now, these protein chains is also a part of the personality. This is why you have a train of thought or a chain of thinking patterns. Each personality has a chain of a thinking pattern, a certain training of thoughts. It thinks a certain way. So it's also the cutting of these proteins or cutting the whole structure off and building a whole new chain, a whole new structure, a whole new building to begin building the new personality or the new personalized you. Because that's what a personality is. A personality is nothing but a personalization. And I get a little more clearer into that slightly. Like I said, I'm not going to go too crazy on today's video. I'm just going to give something brief. If you want to go more in depth, book the consultation, and I'll be glad to make it a lot more simple and a lot more understandable for you to understand. Okay, so, and genetics, of course, is your genes, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. So you're using the acid to create a new you. Okay, cutting the chains with the enzyme, building a whole new chain of thought. That's why every personality has a certain kind of way of thinking. It has this chain. It's that protein chain, that chain of thought. It has chain habits. I'm saying so. Next though is your personalities or experiential personalizations. Primarily, now this is something to others take deep heed into, and I go very deep into this in my classes and courses, and as well as certain consultations. What you call your personalities are experiential personalizations, and they primarily exist within your bone marrow. So I'm giving you a more specific location of where these personalities, or where each personality exists. These personalities exist within your bones. They exist within your bone marrow. You see a baby, when we're all babies, the bones are flexible, but as we become more personalized, don't do this, do that, that's good, that's bad. Boys don't do that, girls do this, girls don't do that, boys do this. That's wrong, that's right. We become more personalized, we create these personalities, and that soft bone that was like a rubber band or rubber becomes hard and dense. That's where the personality begins to reside, within the middle of that osseous tissue, which is called the bone marrow. If you want to go deeper into that, book the consultation, enroll in the classes and courses, because it gets a lot more deeper, but it gets a lot more simple. And it's very profound gnosis to understand where these things reside. Like I said, visualization is key. Visualization gives you a peek into the specific locations of where these things reside within you, within your body, within your DNA, within your genetics, within your atomic structure. This is quantum physics. This is atomic physics. Okay? Which is chaos physics. Next doorway is every body section displays its own expression. Every body section displays its own expression. The bone expresses itself through the tendon. The tendon expresses itself through the muscle, which ultimately expresses itself through the flesh. From center to circumference. From center to circumference. The center is the bone marrow. The circumference is the skin. So this personality energy, or this personalized energy, exists within the bone marrow. And the bone expresses itself through the tendon expresses itself through the muscle, and the muscle expresses itself through the flesh. This is how your personality becomes an actual animating thing. These are just different forms of expression, passing the hat, whispering into the next ear. Because that center ultimately wants to find its final expression within the circumference of that reality, your reality. Next doorway is a personalization is created for and around a person, a place, situation, atmosphere, and environment. This is how we personalize ourselves to become these personalities. A personalization, because a personality is nothing once again but a personalization or personalizing of some sort for whatever reason, according to whatever situation, circumstance, environment, atmosphere, person, place, or thing. So a personalizations are created for and around people, places, situations, atmospheres, and environments. This is why how you act in front of the person at the laundromat is not how you act in front of the person at Walmart. How you act in front of the person at Walmart is not how you act at how you act with your coworker at work. How you act with your coworker at work is not how you act in front of your children. How you act in front of your children is not how you act in front of your mother. This is a personality. This is the intelligence of a personality. It personalizes itself according to whatever people, place, thing, event, situation, circumstance, atmosphere, and environment. So we all have multi-personalities. There's one thing my uncle had told me before when I was doing construction, demolition, and carpentry for a lot of years. And one thing he told me, because he also did the same thing as well on his end where he was at. But sometimes we'll meet up in the morning and have little wise discussions upon certain things. And before I went off to do what I was doing, before he went off to do what he was doing, we talk about deep discussions. And he said something about personality and relationships that always stuck with me. My uncle Jeff, and he said, you know, two people being together in a relationship is equivalent to at least 8 people being together in a relationship. And I was like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, each person has at least 4 different personalities. At the very least, four different personalities. So when this one comes and meets this other person, this one already has four personalities, which makes it five. Because they're the person, but this one person has four personalities. So this one person, with this one person meeting up, they're like 10 people or 8 people together in one relationship, one connection, one union. So that was always very interesting, and I heard that over 10 years ago. So a personalization is created for and around a people, place, situation, atmosphere, and environment. We consciously create personalizations on top of already created personalizations, which were already personalized for us subconsciously. Once again, the baby, the child, the preteen, we already was personalized from our parents, from our family members, from society. So as a child, we are already getting personalized in our subconscious mind. So there are already personality on top of personality on top of personality, or personalization on top of personalization on top of personalization before we even become conscious. So when we become conscious, we consciously create a personality which best suits who and what we are in that moment in our life. But it doesn't mean that that new personality or that new personalization that will be created automatically eliminated or vanished the underlying personalities and personalizations that dwell silently and hidden within our subconscious mind, underneath the radar of our consciousness. And this is when you begin to address the three lower sekira, which is what I touch upon as well in the classes and courses. You want to go more deeper into it, book a consultation, or come enroll. Come join the classes and courses. It's fun, it's powerful, it's serious though, but it's simple. It's very simple to understand, especially the way I break it down. Our last four sekira, which is the heart, the spirit, the mind, the crown. The last four sekira are created on top of our already first three sekira. Present awareness, self-awareness, pardon me, um, self-awareness, self-realization, self-recognition, and self-reflection rearranges and reorganizes the past awareness and past consciousness. So when we become conscious, because you have consciousness, then you have awareness. Awareness to self-awareness is two totally different things. It's a crossing of a bridge. Awareness is not self-awareness. And I touched upon this in one of my live videos. If you check my live video, there's a title entitled Knowledge of Self is Not Self-Awareness. Just because you have a knowledge of yourself, it doesn't mean that you are self-aware. It's two totally different things. So, but I'm breaking it down in this way at the moment. Present awareness, self-realization, self-recognition, and self-reflection, which lies within the consciousness, rearranges and reorganizes the past awareness and the past consciousness that is in the three lower sekira. So these four rearrange what's in the bottom three. Once you become conscious, once you become aware, and once you graduate that awareness into supreme self-awareness. Okay? Next doorway is personalities. What we call personalities are disposable, interchangeable, transformative, and switchable, if that's a word. These are things that can be switched. These are things that can be transformed into the next one. These are things that can also be disposed of in a certain way of understanding. And these are things which are interchangeable. Using the principles of starvation, deprivation, isolation, and desolation. I would say dehydration as well, but that's kind of a little more extreme. So using the principles of starvation, deprivation, isolation, and desolation, you are able to dispose, interchange, transform, and switch into the next personality to rearrange and reorganize those molecular bodies once again, and those elemental bodies, those molecular groups and elemental bodies, and the beginning of cutting the protein chains and creating a new chain, a new train of thinking, a new chain of thought, a new you, a new personality, a new personalization. You have to starve the personality, deprive it of what it always likes. Stop doing those things. Stop drinking those things. Isolate. Isolation. Isolate yourself away from certain people that keep that personality present. Starve that personality. That personality always wants to eat ice cream at nighttime. Don't eat ice cream anymore at nighttime. Starve that personality. That's starvation, deprivation. Deprive it of things. It always likes to be like to bite your fingernails when you're nervous. That personality, that's what that personality does, not you. That personality is doing that. Deprive it of doing that. Don't bite your fingernails no more when you get nervous or kind of, stressed or worried or whatever. Something heavy is on your mind, clouding your mind, clouding the clarity of your mind. Don't do those things anymore. Deprive it of those things. Isolation. Isolate it away from people, places, and things that keep that personality present. And then you have desolation. So you have these four different formulas that you can begin to utilize to begin to rearrange and reorganize the molecular groups, elemental bodies, create the new protein chains, uh, begin to dispose of the old chromosomes into the new chromosome, the new time. So, because you need time to create something. So you're actually affecting the chromosome first because you're shifting into a new time zone, to a whole different time zone to create a whole new time body. And this time body can be timeless as well, depending upon how formless you are in your spiritual work. But you need the time factor in order to create the time body. However, that body functions by mind can be of a timeless nature if you are of a formless accordance or formless nature. Okay? Something to keep in mind on. The next doorway is, hold on. The next doorway is each personality has a specific diet. Understand this real quick, because this is very important to understand what these personalities are composed of and what keeps them present. This paper over here. Okay, that's not it. Now, each personality each personality that's created has a specific diet, a specific language, a specific mindset, a specific weakness, a specific strength, a specific activity, a specific posture, a specific stance, a specific movement, a specific behavior, a specific animation, a specific agenda, a specific purpose, a specific body, a specific appearance. Every personality has a specific energy code, a specific aura, a specific way of how it conducts, a way of conduct, a specific atmosphere, a specific environment. Every personality has a specific lifestyle, a specific spirit, a specific walk, a specific chemistry. Every personality has a specific thought form, a specific memory group. Every personality has a specific crowd it stays around, a specific dimension it exists within. Every personality has a specific habit or habits. every personality has a specific routine or specific routines. Every personality has specific limits, has freedoms. Every personality has interests. Every personality has a specific dreaming pattern, a specific lust, and a specific passion. This is what each personality has. A personality is a perfect Tetris geometry created to decode the sacred geometry of your present situations and present conditions. For what reason? To unlock the next dimension of your experience that simultaneously creates the next perfect Tetris geometry to experience that next situation, society, and or condition. So, a personality is a perfect Tetris geometry created to decode the sacred geometry of your present situations and conditions in order to unlock the next dimension of your experience. That next experience that simultaneously creates the next perfect Tetris geometry to experience that next situation, society, and condition. So that's another way of looking at what a personality is. It is a perfect Tetris. It's a geometrical Tetris uh, building block. It has blocks how it builds itself on, and it becomes this building like a protein chain. So that's another way to look at the Tetris aspect as the protein chain. It's building this chain, this structure, this building, and it's Tetrising itself on top of each other perfectly. The personalization is the perfection within the personality, and that is the building aspect. So it is a perfect Tetris geometry created to decode the sacred geometry of your present situation, present state, and condition to unlock the next dimension of your experience. So it's a perfect Tetris geometry to unlock the sacred geometry because everything that entraps you has an open door. Every house has a door. Every room has a window. As you inhale, you also exhale. Everything that has an enclosing aspect has an opening factor. So every personality, every personalization that becomes enclosed and fixed within its own personalization and fixed within its own personality, because every personality is a fixed intelligence, it also has an opening point to be let out of that personality in order to create the new personality that best suits and fits who and what you are in this moment in your life. And that is the sacred geometry that it unlocks. So it's a Tetris geometry that unlocks its own sacred geometry to become the next sacred one, to become the next personality, the next personalization, according to who and what you are and what best fits you. Am I as I am, most importantly though, as you are. I appreciate y'all sending the Cashapp. That's very much appreciated. A lot of y'all more signed up for the fall classes. I also have winter classes as well, depending upon your schedule, so on and so forth. Hit me in the email. I'll throw you the information to the classes, the courses, prices, um, when the classes are, the schedule. So, and we'll take it from there. Onward, inward, and upward. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep researching, keep studying. Most importantly, extract and keep taking from your experience. 1-0.